Panetta met with their defense minister twice now within the past week, okay? This doesn't usually happen. I think he's afraid, and I think he has good reason to be afraid, that Netanyahu, looking at our president and knowing that our president is not going to buck the Israel lobby, the Likud lobby, over the next year when he's running for president, they look and they say, this is probably our best window of opportunity to show the whole world that we have a staunch ally, and it's the most important and the most powerful country in the world. Netanyahu said this explicitly in his Meet the Press interview 2 Sundays ago. And so, this, in their view, they will not only give a bloody nose to the Iranians, set back their nuclear program forever, but they'll demonstrate to the world that they still count for something, because despite Egypt, despite Lebanon, despite Turkey, they've got the real powerful card in the hole. And that.
We just lost Ray. We'll get him back on. I guess little phone troubles there. Of course, you don't think that guy's got the establishment tapping his phone, do you? They did not want that information getting out, or perhaps it was just a phone going dead. It's just so annoying. Regardless of what side you're on in this, I'm neutral. I'm sick of it. I just want freedom. I want to be left alone. The Iranians are going to go absolutely wild when they get attacked. They're going to start attacking Israel. The United States is going to be drawn in. NATO is going to be drawn in. In the middle of all these uprisings, the globalists are going to stage attacks, or Iran is going to launch an attack. Ray, you got cut off there.
Yeah, it wasn't NSA, I'm told. It was somebody dropping the phone.
Okay, good.
So, it's just it's a conjuncture of events. Besides all that, of course, we know now that the Israelis have been given bunker buster bombs, okay? Now, what conceivable reason would they have to get bunker buster bombs? They were approved by Bush. They were granted 55 of them by Obama. Now, those things are really good for destroying heavily concreted, or whatever you call them, fortified underground sites. Now, could they decimate the nuclear site at Natanz, where they're refining uranium? No, they couldn't. But if they went through the same hole, if 4 or 5 of them went through there, yeah, they probably could. Or, Israelis have nukes as well. So this is a very, very dangerous situation if that's what they intend to do.
Well, they're also decapitation weapons, as you know, for destroying command and control bunkers. Stay there. Let's look at briefly, we don't have much time left, with what will happen, because the breaks go from bad to worse. If Iran is attacked, obviously all you-know-what will break loose, which will be a nice political diversion here at home as well. Ray McGovern's our guest. Alex Jones here with vital information concerning our nation's fragile food supply. Folks, there are some truly dangerous trends forming, and I think it's important for my listeners to do 3 things right away. Number 1, study the past. History really does repeat itself. Number 2, learn to spot the dangerous food shortage trends. Number 3, take decisive action. A perfect storm is brewing for a global food crisis. That's why I'm telling everyone to read the new book, Rising Prices, Empty Shelves. Warning signs that trigger the deadliest famines in history. Don't get caught unprepared when the crisis hits. This book is only available at risingpricesemptyshelves.com. You'll also get a free copy of Supermarket Survival, How to Cut Your Grocery Bills in Half. Again, that website is risingpricesemptyshelves.com. That's risingpricesemptyshelves.com.
Hey guys, are weaker testosterone levels taking you out of the game? Are you gaining fat, feeling tired, losing desire in the bedroom? Get back in the game. Call now for a risk-free trial of Ageless Male, a natural supplement shown to raise testosterone by 61% and maintain healthy, normal levels. No injections, no appointments. Just take Ageless Male every day and boost your testosterone by 61%. When your levels are healthy, you can feel energy again, a great outlook again, and yes, a healthy sex drive. The results are life-changing. Beware of cheap knockoffs. Ageless Male is an exclusive formula and the only one proven in research to boost testosterone 61%. Try Ageless Male, risk-free. Just call 1-800 1-800-497-8345. 1-800-497-8345. 1-800-497-8345.
Why is it so many people suffer from so many illnesses today? Why don't doctors know how to help you? Could it be that our doctors don't know how because there's a nutrition solution and they only know about drugs? Over 68 diseases are connected to a deficiency of glutathione. The missing ingredient to increasing your body's production of glutathione is cysteine. Raising your glutathione production protects you from cancer, heart disease, Parkinson's, macular degeneration, lung disease, digestive diseases, diabetes, Alzheimer's, ALS, rheumatoid arthritis, and lupus. Nature's richest source of cysteine is unheated whey. Heating can damage much of the cysteine. One World Whey is the first undamaged whey protein on the market. Using One World Whey may support optimal glutathione production unlike any other food or supplement you've ever taken. Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld, WHEY.com.
Roseanne Barr is scheduled to be joining us in the next hour. That should be interesting to say the least. Then one of the top minions of the CIA shipping cocaine into California, Ricky Ross, out of prison, is going to be joining us. We'll look at Operation Fast and Furious. It's not just guns to Mexico, it's cocaine back in. That's the big smoking gun that's in the federal court documents that Eric Holder hopes we don't talk about. We're going to talk about it. Ray McGovern, we've got him for a few more minutes. He's got his detailed article that goes through the nuances of it at Consortium News that I mentioned earlier. But when you've got the defense secretary running back and forth, meeting with the Israelis and coming out and saying they're isolated, and the news saying they may strike, and McGovern says that's the intel he's got, and we're talking about the potential to start World War III. But regardless, it's going to make things really bad. And you're saying the Israelis think they've got Obama where they want him, and then I guess blackmail or whatever, he'll do it?
Well, I asked someone yesterday, an expert on the area, Alex, I said, what do you think of this line of analysis that Panetta is going to persuade the Israelis to hold off and not do this kind of thing? And he's, Panetta probably tell him. And I thought, wow, yeah, right. They're going to, Panetta has panache, so to speak, that our president doesn't have. Our president has told the Israelis, please don't build any more settlements. Please don't attack people on the high seas. And what do? Well, there's a gesture that Netanyahu has used. It involves a thumb on the nose and waving fingers, okay? So the notion that if the Israelis see it in their interest to attack Iran or start a war with Iran, that Panetta, by his intervention here, will be able to sell them a bill of goods, that stretches credulity for me. So what has to happen, and what won't, I'm afraid, is that the president himself has to call up Netanyahu and say, look, Bibi, the game is up here. If you think I'm going to support you when Iran retaliates against you and me for starting a war, forget it. And I wish the president would do that, but it's not in his genes. It's certainly not in his backbone.
But the Pentagon doesn't like it. Fox Fallon, as you know, didn't like it 4 years ago and had to step down because he wouldn't launch an attack. I mean, when the military, who, on average, like wars, that's what they train for, it isn't wanting to do something, that's because they know it's not the, quote, quagmire cakewalk of Iran or somewhere else of Iraq. It's Iran, and it leads down a very dark, dark road. And as you said, how are they going to spin it when Iran, with asymmetrical warfare, blocks the Strait of Hormuz, turns sleeper cells loose in the West? And, I mean, how are they going to spin it when Iran strikes back? I guess they'll just call it terrorism. We bombed them, and they struck back. That's bad. Yeah, well, the rhetoric will sound that way, but you point out, well, Admiral Mullen, who just retired, and I regret he just retired because he was the strongest on this. He came back several times from Israel and said, we told him, please don't do this. Don't do this at all. It wouldn't be a good idea. And somebody asked him at a press conference, well, if they blocked the Strait of Hormuz, you could open it up, couldn't you? And Mullen sort of swallowed hard, and he said, oh, yeah, we could. Well, you look at those cliffs on the Strait of Hormuz. What Marines do you have available to scale those cliffs?
know. And how are you going to avoid all these little PT boats, each of which has a...
They lost 1.5 million Iranians. They're going to human wave attack. They're going to be dug in. It's going to make the Japanese look like a cakewalk.
So the question really is, what about this successor to Mullen? Okay? Now, who is this guy? He's a guy put in place by Bobby Gates. Cartwright, the fellow who should have got the job, was too independent, spoke out his mind, told the president that Afghanistan, for example, was feckless. Who is this new guy? Is he the sort of pliable kind of guy like others?
Well, Ray, listen, we're out of time. I'm going to have you back up in the next few days, or maybe next week in the aftermath of the demonstrations. Thank you so much. Ray McGovern. We'll be right back.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
I have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Waging War on Corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Well, she's on the show. The one, the only Roseanne Barr. She's an American actress, comedian, writer, television producer, and director. She worked doing stand-up comedy until 85 appearance on The Tonight Show, brought her to the limelight. She is most famously known for her role in the ABC hit sitcom Roseanne, which ran for 9 seasons from 88 to 97. Barr won an Emmy and a Golden Globe, a Kids' Choice Award, and 3 American Comedy Awards for her part in the show. And on January 4, 2011, she released her 3rd book titled Roseanne-archy, Dispatches from the Nut Farm. And so she's gotten a lot of national attention in the last week. And there she is on the book cover for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers, dressed up, I guess, like Che Guevara with an AK-47 with bombs dropping behind her.
No, it's not Che Guevara.
Who is it?
It's all of them. It's every despot in the world, including Rush Limbaugh. That's what the cigar is for.
Ah. Okay, yeah. so you're not saying communism's good?
No, I'm for the creation of an entirely new economic system. Entirely new.
Well, Roseanne, you have got the floor then. Tell us what system you'd like to establish.
Well, one that works. I'd like to establish a system that actually is based on solutions to actual problems that exist in the world, rather than the exploitation of those problems for the enrichment of a few.
Okay, tell us, then you've got the floor. Tell us what the problems are and then what some basic solutions are.
Oh, boy. Well, the problems are that we don't think, we're not thinking outside of the box, basically, and we need to get out of our mind control program and come up with solutions to problems that exist in the world. Number one, hunger. We have to come up with a way to get the food to the hungry. And if you saw, which is like something that I think about a lot, and, a lot of people smarter than me think about too. And a lot of people smarter and dumber than me don't think about that ever. And, so I just think it's something that we should call attention to. Actual problems of actual human beings, instead of systems that don't work and obsolete ways of thinking about things.
Why did you agree to come on this show? Max Kaiser sent us an email over, and then when we were contacted, and I was flattered. Why did you agree to come on this show? I mean, I would imagine you're getting asked on thousands of programs.
I've just listened to you a lot, and I think we have a lot that we agree on, and there's a lot that we don't agree on also. But I really think that Americans and people in the world should start concentrating on things that they do agree with each other on so that we can